So there's a security analytics firm, Cognyte, and they just dropped a blockbuster quarter. I mean, the market definitely noticed. But here's the thing. It's not just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. What's happening here gives us a huge clue about where the whole security tech world is going. So what's their secret sauce? Let's get into it.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at that winning quarter that made all the headlines. Then, we'll decode the financials for the whole year. After that, we'll get into the 3 pillars that are really driving their growth, dig into their big AI advantage, and that's a big one. And finally, we'll peek into the future and see what Cognyte is planning next.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the big news, the stuff that really made Wall Street's ears perk up. Look, Cognyte didn't just have a good quarter. No, they made a statement.
And what happened next? The market's reaction was instant. Bam! The stock jumped almost 15% pretty much overnight. And listen, that's not just a little blip on the radar. That is a massive vote of confidence from investors.
So was this just a fluke? Well, according to the CEO, Elad Sharon, absolutely not. He basically said this was all part of the plan. Their whole mission is to help make the world a safer place, and he said they very deliberately translated that mission into, real growth and real profits.
Okay, so here's the really crucial part. How did they pull this off? I mean, they didn't just meet expectations. They blew them out of the water. Yeah, the revenue beat was nice, but check out the earnings per share, the EPS. Wall Street was expecting maybe 1 cent per share in profit. Cognyte came in with 10 cents. That's 10 times what was expected. It's a huge sign of just how well this company is being run.
But a big stock jump like that, it's usually not just about one good quarter. So let's zoom out and look at the full year numbers, because this is where you really see the proof behind all that excitement.
So for the entire year, Cognyte hit a pretty big milestone, $400 million in revenue. Now that number alone tells you these guys are major players, but the real story is in how they got to that number. And this chart tells that story perfectly. Look, revenue growth was solid, right? A very healthy 14%. But then you look at their profitability, what we're calling adjusted EBITDA here, and wow, it grew by a whopping 66%. That's almost 5 times faster than their revenue grew. So this isn't just a company getting bigger, it's a company getting smarter, more efficient, and way more profitable as it grows. Okay, before I show you the next number, we gotta talk about a slightly wonky term, but it's super important. It's called RPO, which stands for Remaining Performance Obligations. The simple way to think about it is this. It's money that's already in the bag. It's all the contracts they've signed, but they just haven't been able to count it as revenue yet. It's probably the best crystal ball you can get for a company's future health. So what's Cognyte's RPO? A massive $557.2 million. Now let that sink in for a second. That means they already have more money locked in through contracts for the future than the $400 million they made in the entire last year. That is just an incredible safety net and a huge runway for future growth. All right, so the numbers are impressive, we get it. But the big question is, how? What's the strategy? Well, it turns out it's a really clear, really focused 3-part plan.
It all boils down to these 3 things. Pillar 1, sell more to the customers you already have. Simple enough. Pillar 2, go out and get brand new customers, what they call new logos. And Pillar 3, make a big push to grow in North America, which is a huge market. See, it's a simple, powerful, and super focused strategy.
And the best part? It's working on all 3 fronts. So that first pillar, expanding with current customers, they said they're getting tons of repeat business. Check. The second pillar, getting new logos, they added 61 new customers just last year. Check. And that third pillar, growing in the US, they landed a massive $5 million deal with the state law enforcement agency, and they teamed up with a partner called Carasoft to really go after the US government market. So this isn't just some strategy on a PowerPoint slide. It's actually delivering the goods.
Okay, so we've talked about their internal strategy. But there's this huge external force that's like a massive tailwind pushing them forward, and it's only getting stronger. I'm talking, of course, about artificial intelligence.
And for Cognyte, AI is not some fun toy for writing emails or making cool pictures. We're talking about mission-critical, high-stakes security. Just imagine you're an investigator, right? You've got a few random clues, a piece of a license plate, a really blurry photo from a security camera, some weird message online. Cognyte's AI is the tool that can take all that, sift through mountains of data, and actually find the hidden connections. It's what helps law enforcement and intelligence agencies make the right call when everything is on the line.
And this quote from the CEO really nails why they're so successful with this. He says, customers are not buying AI features, they are buying operational outcomes powered by AI. What he means is their customers don't care about the fancy tech jargon. They have a real-world problem they need to solve now. And Cognyte's whole value is taking all that super complex AI and making it a practical, usable tool that actually works in these incredibly tough situations.
So for them, you see, AI isn't just some trendy buzzword or a hype cycle that's going to fade away. The CEO calls it a structural tailwind. And that's a perfect way to put it. Because as the bad guys use more sophisticated AI-driven attacks, the good guys are going to need even better AI-powered defenses. So the demand for what Cognyte does, it's basically built to grow.
So, where do they go from here? What's next? Well, let's take a look at the company's own forecast for the next year or two, because they seem pretty confident.
So they just hit $400 million in their last fiscal year. And for the next year, they're predicting they'll hit around $448 million. That's another year of strong double-digit growth. It tells you they believe this momentum is real and it's here to stay.
And they're not stopping there. They've already put a stake in the ground for fiscal 2028. The targets? Get to $500 million in revenue and do it with a profitability margin of over 20%. That's not just a forecast. That's a long-term vision for some serious, sustained, and profitable growth. When you step back, Cognyte's success story is about more than just one company. It really highlights a massive shift that's happening. Their strategy and their powerful AI aren't just making them money. They're putting them right on the front lines of what's essentially a new kind of technological arms race. And it leaves us with a really big question to think about. As AI gets smarter and smarter on both sides of the fight, how are companies like Cognyte going to end up shaping the future of security for all of us?